Hello, I'm Nick Corston from Interactive Developments, and in the next 60 minutes or so, I'm going to talk you through Windows Multimedia, showing you how companies are really using this technology in their particular business applications and, if you like, to their advantage. I'm pleased this afternoon to have with me Mark Edwards from Microsoft. Mark, what's your interest in multimedia and what's your position within Microsoft? How does it all fit together as far as you're concerned?
Well, I'm the marketing manager for the desktop and workgroups systems at Microsoft, and as part of that, that includes the multimedia products. So I'm really interested to understand more what you're doing with multimedia and what some of your customers are doing with it and how they perceive the business benefits of implementing multimedia in their environments.
Oh, okay. Well, we're giving a lot of presentations at the moment to some very big companies and some government departments and a very wide range of people who are interested in this technology.
Yeah.
What Interactive Developments is doing is actually helping companies develop their own applications. It's no longer a secret task, if you like.
Yeah.
A lot of people were very confused. They thought, well, I like it, but can't use it.
Yeah.
We're now actually helping them use this technology to their own advantage, and it really is it's a very exciting time for all of us, I think.
Yes.
I've actually got a presentation on the system now, which I tend to run through in front of our customers. Would you be interested in having a look at that?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
I mean, could you just take me through what the key things that your company does? I mean, what are the key areas that you
Certainly.
operate in,
Well,
services you have?
what we're doing is, as I say, marketing products that companies can use to build their own applications. As I say, the presentation which I've got will actually run through that, and that might give you a bit of background.
Show me, yeah.
Okay, when I actually go and see customers, I take a PC along, which has got all my demonstrations on them, and on there. And here's the Windows desktop as you see it when you actually load the machine up. You're obviously familiar with the Windows desktop.
Looks like mine.
It's nice and tidy. Double-click on multimedia presentations, and here are all the little applications I tend to show people during the course of a presentation.
Yeah.
I double-click on the icon here, and that actually launches my presentation.
Right, so your application is all in that particular
Everything's
icon.
under that single icon. Double-click, and it loads it, and everything else looks after itself. Now, before the customer actually walks in the room, I like to type the company's name in here. And for the sake of yourself, I'll type in Microsoft Limited. I click on the hand, and that's gone.
All right, so has that updated the presentation now, so it's all...
It's customised to that customer, and
Yes.
people quite like this, actually, the fact that they feel they've got a presentation that's tailor-made for them.
Yeah.
So I click on the button there, and it comes up a presentation for Microsoft Limited. I click again, and it fades away, and the presentation starts to roll.
Yeah, it looks very nice.
Little animation there, interactive multimedia. Click again, and Interactive Developments, and that's me, Nick Corston. Okay.
Yeah, it looks very impressive package.
It's quite a nice front end. It sort of warms people up. They think, hang on, this is a bit better than the old standard presentations we're used to seeing before.
Yes.
In terms of an agenda, the presentation I give breaks down into 5 key areas.
Yeah.
And these are summarised quite simply.
Yeah, I noticed you using the mouse quite a lot there, Nick. Can you explain how that works?
What I'm basically doing is every time the program pauses, I click the mouse. You see the little
Yeah.
icon here, that tells me to click the mouse.
Okay.
So first thing I do is tell people about Interactive Developments, the company. Then tell them what interactive multimedia is. It's an interesting buzzword. Everybody seems to think it's a lot of hype. It's a buzzword. There are magazines called multimedia.
Yes.
And we like to define interactive multimedia at that point.
Yes.
Then talk about the applications, because that's what most people are interested in. What can I really do with this technology?
Yeah.
What do I need to actually use it? What's the delivery technology consideration? And how do you actually build applications?
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a who are we? What is it? What do we actually use it for? What do we need to develop it? And how do we actually deliver this application?
Well, how about telling me about what you're about to start with, what your company is involved
Well,
in?
we click the button here, and that runs us into that section and carries us into a section that talks about interactive developments as a company. Now, what we're doing is actually helping companies build their own multimedia applications and really use this technology. We've seen the technology come on in the last year in terms of its performance, its functionality, and the value for money. As you know, the price of computing equipment is coming down all the time, as you've probably seen yourself. We're, as I say, helping people develop their own applications, and we're doing this in 3 ways. The first thing we're doing is marketing development tools that companies can use themselves to build multimedia applications. The second thing we're doing, and I think this is very important, is we're providing training and support for these products.
So what kind of training and support do you provide?
Well, what we're actually doing is we're training them to use the development tools, which I'm going to show you at the end of the section, things like Authorware Professional, Multimedia Toolbook. We're providing support in terms of technical seminars, product upgrades, product support, help desk, this sort of functionality.
Yeah.
Really helping them use this technology. It's not buy it out of the back of a magazine and proceed with it.
Yeah.
The third thing we're doing, and I think this is a very important part of our business, is that we offer a full production service. We produce this presentation for my use, but similarly we produce presentations like this for other companies to help them if they don't want to get involved in producing their own applications straight from scratch.
So if I wanted a presentation like this for my own purposes, then I could come to you and you
Most
could do that?
certainly, and we've got access to the resources and our consultants and our designers. So that's us as a company in a nutshell. We're helping people by marketing products that they can use themselves and technology and the different packages, the different pieces of hardware they need to plug into their machines maybe to give them just a bit more extra functionality. In terms of a definition of interactive multimedia and what it is, I think it's worth maybe taking a couple of seconds there, take a couple of steps back to actually define interactive multimedia. A couple of words there, if you like, really, which is probably worth defining separately. A lot of people define multimedia.
How about if you just define what you mean by multimedia to start with?
Okay, well, if I click on multimedia here, it takes me into a definition of multimedia, and it's the integration of different media types, in this case, text, graphics which could be produced by a graphics artist or scanned in, taken from clip art on compact discs, captured from a videotape. So a wide range of graphics and very high quality graphic now as well. Animation, different types of animation, which we can use professional three-dimensional modelling packages for. And this can get a little bit tricky, and this is where you need specialist resources. You see the animation here, which we built in here, just to show the sort of thing you can do. And this was created by an animator using, as I say, three-dimensional modelling packages, the sort of products that people like Macromedia are marketing, people like Autodesk. You've probably heard of Autodesk Animator.
Yes. So would it be quite easy to be able to take those tools and develop your own?
That's right. It can be quite straightforward, that's right. The other media element that we're building in, this is where the presentation livens up a little bit, is audio. The use of sound, MIDI audio, for example. MIDI being a little computer synthesizer built into the sound card in this computer. And there's some audio that you hear there, a little bit of a ditty tune, which we just put in for the sake of showing what we can do.
Plug your Bontempi in and create.
That's right. The other type of audio is wave audio, waveform audio. You're just speaking to a microphone.
Yeah.
You hear the audio there?
Yes.
And a gunshot sound effect. You can buy compact discs full of sound effects. So it's quite easy to get this. You don't have to be a sound engineer to use it. A bit of compact disc. And that's all coming out of the computer, the standard computer you see here on the desk in front of you. Nothing special, no secret gizmos plugged in the back.
Yes.
And I think the most exciting multimedia element that most people really do focus on is the use of video. Here you'll see some video actually coming off the hard disk of the computer and being presented on the PC screen. Look at the quality of that.
Yes. But is it using any additional hardware too?
There is actually a plug-in card for this. I think with a DVI card, which we got from Multitech, who are importing and distributing DVI solutions in the UK.
So this is working through the Windows MCI interface?
Exactly, using DVI under Windows, and that's the important thing, how it pulls it all together. And that's DVI, and I think that's very, very exciting technology.
Yes. Yeah. Well, with all these different forms of multimedia, where do you see the application for business? Where are the key places that it's being implemented?
Well, there are many areas that multimedia computing is being implemented. Multimedia computing, I think it's probably worth mentioning now, is nothing particularly new or special. It's just the C prompt that everybody's used to seeing in green letter on a screen. In glorious Technicolor with surround sound. That's all multimedia computing is. I mean, you're familiar with things like Microsoft Word for Windows and Excel. They all support multimedia, but they're not multimedia special products anymore. And I think you'll probably agree that this is multimedia. It's what the user sees in a computer.
Yeah, I mean, now that with Windows 3.1, all of the multimedia elements are built in, so it's very much pervasive for everybody.
Exactly, and it's automatic, and you're not selling a multimedia solution, you're selling computing, because that's what computing is now. It's multimedia computing.
Yeah.
Let me take the presentation on a little bit and tell you about interactive multimedia, because that's what we're really doing. Research shows that we remember 10% of what we read, and that's where the text element of multimedia comes in. Anything we read, there's a good chance we're going to remember 10% of it. Research also shows that we remember 20% of what we see, and that's really where the text graphics and animation part of multimedia comes in, because you've got the animations, the pictures, you can read the writing, and I think that's quite not a bad figure, 20%. We can increase that to 30%, however, by bringing the full multimedia mix together, because we remember 30% of what we see and hear.
And so that's what you mean by interactive?
No, that's the multimedia bit. That's just the seeing and hearing, and that's watching television or watching videos. There's quite an interesting figure here, though. We remember 70%, however, of what we see, hear and do. And that's where interactive multimedia comes in, because that's really when the user's doing things. Now, people say, well, what on earth do you mean by interactive? What does that mean? Well, interacting really is, if you like, the key to this media in learning and communications applications. We're not talking about multimedia spreadsheets, we're not talking about multimedia databases, we're not talking about multimedia word processing. What we're talking about is interactive multimedia with interaction. And let's pop back to the presentation and look at what we mean by these sort of interactions. And really what we've got is the opportunity here to point, using the pointer device, a mouse, a touch screen maybe, or a light pen, clicking on keyboards, typing answers to questions, and this little animation here. And that's standard interactions that people are used to.
So computer-based training could be developed using
Exactly,
something
because
like
the
this.
user's doing something. And here you can move objects around the screen by using the mouse to move objects across the screen. And use an interesting word, the training. It's obviously a big application area for multimedia. We learn by doing. By actually touching, moving objects, typing answers, clicking, pointing, we're doing. It's appealing to the old right-hand side of the brain, apparently, according to the educational psychologists, and that's what actually makes people remember. And quite simply, that's what interactive multimedia is all about. If you pop back to the agenda now, you'll see that we've talked about us as a company. We've defined interactive multimedia. That's all very well. It's a bit of background. What are the applications of this technology? Well, I click on there, and it takes me into the application section. And I think this is a bit that's often misunderstood. A lot of people in multimedia are selling sound cards, are selling CD-ROM drives, but they're not actually saying, well, what do you want to do with it? And that's what we're trying to do, match the technology to applications. Now, the applications of interactive multimedia break down into 6 areas. And we've got a little acronym, if you like, which spells these out. It's got the letters S, R, P, E, L, A. And as you know, acronyms are supposed to be easy to remember, and that's not very easy. So let's put them together and make a word pearls, which I think is probably a little bit easier to remember. Now, the P in presentations refers, in pearls, refers to, gave the game away there, presentations. Using multimedia in presentations. Now, that's exactly what I'm doing for you here. I've produced a presentation back in the office. I've brought it to show you what multimedia is all about, okay?
Yes.
I haven't got flip charts and 35mm slides and got the slides back to front and dropped the flip charts on the floor and you've had a good old laugh. It's hopefully a coherent message that's coming through. Now, I think one of the most exciting applications of multimedia here is in sales presentations. Elenex recently announced a new notebook computer. It's a 486 computer. I go along to see you, and I've got this computer, full-colour screen, nice and compact, the mouse is built into the top, and I say, right, I'd like to buy some of my products. Okay, work your quote out, and I'm an insurance salesman, and you've got 3 kids, and you've got 4 bedrooms in your house, and you want to know what the monthly policy is going to be. Yeah. I calculate the policy, and it's going to cost you £100 a month. You're going to buy it? No, you're not, probably, because you want to know about the company. You've not heard anything about my company. So click a button, and up on the screen would come an animation or a graph showing the company's performance over a period. You're going to sign now. No, you want to speak to 3 satisfied customers. Well, sorry.
I'd like to hear from Mrs. Smith.
Well, exactly. Well, I haven't got her in the back of the car. She wouldn't come along every day when I'm selling insurance. So, up on the screen comes 3 pictures of 3 of my satisfied customers. And in the top one is Bert, the bus driver, Mrs. Smith from next door. And you actually identify with that guy. Click. You see a video of him speaking. We've got the technology now, which we'll show in a few minutes. You can run video on screens of little notebook computers like this.
So if I was in a corporate environment and I wanted to implement this kind of structure for my sales force, just taking the actual computer itself, would I need any additional hardware? Would I need some special equipment to be able to do that?
The whole point of that is, in particular in that scenario with the notebook computer, is that Windows gives you all that functionality. We've got video, which we'll look at in a few minutes, actually, which is a very exciting development. You can run video on a screen without plugging any extra hardware in.
Yeah.
Now, notebook computers don't tend to have sound functionality in, but it's a little dongle now that West Point Creative are just about to start marketing. Like about the size of a box of Swan Vesta box of matches. You plug it into the side of the computer, it's got a speaker built in. You can play music, you can play sound effects off a notebook computer. Yeah. You haven't got to go to the customer and plug it into the mains. So that's multimedia presentations, and I think you'll probably agree it's the multimedia that is very exciting and highly motivating.
So
it's the interactivity that allows you to customise and control the presentation.
Yes.
You want to see some more applications?
Yeah, so what kind of other areas? I mean, is presentation, is that the main area where
That's one of them. It's a big one, as I say, but E for entertainment is a very, very large application area for multimedia. You're probably familiar with little games computer things that people plug into TVs and shoot Space Invaders. I mean, that's interactive multimedia. Yeah. But there are a number of other different applications. One particularly popular one, which you're probably familiar with, is a thing called Microsoft Multimedia Beethoven. You've probably seen it yourself a few times.
I certainly do know it. I've got a copy myself.
Sure. Why don't we have a look at that now?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so here we are back on the Windows desktop, and to launch an application, as I said to you earlier, just double-click on the icon, and I clicked on the icon for Beethoven Symphony. And here we are actually launching into the application, running from compact disk on my computer. Okay, so we come into the application, as you know, it launches itself, and we have a choice. What do you want to do? What should we click on?
How about going into the Pocket Guide?
The Pocket Guide, click on there.
Play my favourite bit.
Which bit's that then?
That's the Joy theme.
Yeah?
It's a nice loud piece.
4th movement. So you've got the whole symphony here laid out. You just double-click on Joy theme. Okay, we can click on, go to the contents, go to movement 2, and that takes us straight into the 2nd movement, and we can play this bit, close reading. And we're playing through the application. we can click on Show Theme, and it actually shows us the system actually playing the music through. So we click here.
You see the score sheet, all of the musical instruments.
Yeah. It's an interactive guide to the
yeah.
Beethoven Symphony.
It's a great way if you're trying to learn about music and you want to get a much better appreciation of music and how it forms together. And this is a great tool as an example of an education type of package.
Exactly, and that really is an application of multimedia, if you like, in entertainment. I mean, it's an entertaining title, and that's the E for entertainment. I think that the next area, which I think is particularly exciting, is A, and that's A for advertising. You've probably been into service stations on the motorway, and there's a touch screen there. Touch the screen, you find out about double glazing, you find out about insurance policies. Touch the screen, you find out what the travel's doing, that sort of stuff. That's an interactive kiosk type application.
Point of information, point of sale type of systems.
Market research has shown that one of the major growth areas for multimedia is going to be in kiosk systems, touchscreen multimedia systems, replacing the requirement to have staff at the point of sale.
Yes.
A lot of systems now, they show you about the products, they give you information on stock availability, you touch the products you want to know about, see what they're like, see them in use. You want to know about hair dryers with 2 heat settings, you touch the screen on that button and you see that product. You want to buy one, you wipe the credit card. I don't know if you've got a 14-day cool-off period of this technology yet, but it's a very powerful communication as a sales medium.
Yeah. I was going to say, I've seen quite a lot of these type of systems in airports as well, where you have a point of information system, and if you want to get information about a different part of the airport, you just simply point at something on the screen.
That's exactly this sort of application, not just selling products, providing information. I had a very interesting application through the post the other day, actually, from one of the companies we were working with, a company called Asymmetrics, and they're using multimedia to sell their computer software. Let me show you this disk. Here we are back at the Windows Program Manager, and here's the application here, Multimedia Leadership. Now, all we do to launch it again was you double-click, and it was developed in Toolbook, the Asymmetrics product. And as I say, this is just an application running off a compact disc, and I think you'll be quite impressed with what it actually consists of. Bit of a musical introduction there. Quite a powerful message. And it takes us into the introduction. Now, this uses some state-of-the-art technology, to say the least, and I think you'll probably recognise it when you see it. Here are the 4 key people in the company, the president and CEO, the multimedia group manager, Glenn Morrissey, the director of development, and the executive vice president. Now, if we want to hear what Glenn Morrissey's got to say about his products, we just double-click on Glenn, and we go to a screen which shows us 3 sessions with Glenn.
The goal of our
click on that section.
multimedia product family is to make multimedia more accessible to the broadest range of PC user.
Now, this is video running off a compact disc with no extra plug-in hardware. This is quite incredible, apart from maybe a sound card. Click on this one.
Windows user. Each of our products makes multimedia more accessible by leading its category.
This is obviously your AVI technology actually in use, and one of the first real applications. Let's go to another section. If I click on the map here.
So I can see this new technology is going to bring video to the masses, because everybody's going to be able to take advantage of it.
Exactly. But look at this as an advertising and marketing application. Click on products. You want to know about the Asymmetrics range of products? Here they are, Multimedia Toolbook. You want to know about Media Blitz? Click on Media Blitz. Here's the pack shot of the product. Click on
Media Blitz is a breakthrough product for Windows
and it tells you about the product.
It allows anybody with Windows 3.1 to explore
Now, the very interesting, the major thing here is if we click there and close that, we can click on the install button and install that software onto our machine and run a demo version of it. Very, very powerful. Now, one of the pieces I particularly like about this is the idea you can show a product, people can find out, they can get the message from the chief exec, who obviously is a bit too busy to actually fly out. We're not going to get Paul Allen flying out and telling our customers why they should be buying Multimedia Toolbook. But people marketing Asymmetrics products have got the chief executive and all the main stuff there.
So are there many clients that you have that are going to use this type of...
This is going to be very big. A lot of people are going to use this technology. You can press a compact disc now for £1. OK, then, well, let's quit out of here. Let's go back to the main menu, click on Map. And that takes us back to the overview. OK, had enough of this? We go to Quit. You click on the Quit option there, and you can't leave.
We're very excited to be taking a leadership position in this market, and we're glad you're following our progress.
You can't leave without hearing what Paul Allen's got to say. And it's a very powerful marketing tool, and that takes us out of there. Imagine you can run that video now on one of these £2,000 colour notebooks from L&X. This is multimedia in action. OK. OK, well, here we are back at the Windows Program Manager. Back to my presentation and on with the show, if you like. So that's advertising, marketing applications, and I think sales directors and sales managers are going to like this technology an awful lot.
Yeah, it's going to have, I can see there's a lot of impact that you can add to your presentation of your products with this.
Very, very powerful marketing tool. Look at R for reference. Imagine the idea of large amounts of data information. You've got a parts catalogue with lots of pieces of equipment, components. You want to see pictures of them, you want sounds, you want to click a button, see an animation, you want to jump to the glossary. Think of the same methods and the branching structures we used in the multimedia Beethoven application.
Yes.
And you can probably see that's what we mean by multimedia reference applications, multimedia encyclopedias.
Yeah.
I know you've got a product, Microsoft Bookshelf, and I know that you're getting very involved now in developing titles with reference type applications. And we'll look at how we build those sort of products in a minute. That's R for reference. If we now look at L for learning, this is one of the biggest areas and application areas of multimedia. I'll show you a nice little application here, which is a little photography training course that teaches people about photography using multimedia. And here you'll see the interactivity really coming into its own. Now, this product was created with Authware Professional, and I think it's got some very nice little features in it. 3 parts to the course: parts of a camera, setting controls, and taking photographs. Okay, let's have a look first of all at parts of a camera. Click on parts of a camera. The lens, what it does, where it is. Click continue. Okay.
So could you develop an application like this for anything?
Oh, very easily. I'm going to show you all through at the end of this section. You won't believe how easy it is to keep this, to actually develop an application like this. We just flick through these and it tells us about the various parts of a camera. We won't worry too much about reading the content there. Okay, so this is fairly straightforward stuff. Presenting text and graphic-based information. Okay, that was the easy bit. We've now got to answer a few questions. It says over here, click on the part of the camera you'd press on to take a picture. Okay, well, would I press here? No, that's the film rewind crank. Try clicking on another part. Well, let's have a hint. We click the hint box, not getting anywhere with that. Well, let's click on here. No, that's the lens. It's used to focus the light. Okay, let's have a click on here. Again, we get it wrong. You notice the hint box has now lit up. We can click the hint box, and it points to the various parts of the camera, and we know, oh, we've got a subtle hint there, that's the shutter release. So
yes. Click
on shutter release, and it takes us into that. And that was a simple interaction, point and click interaction.
And that's just a function of the way this application has been developed. I mean,
exactly.
It didn't have to be 3 times before it said hint.
It was just a feature that was set in very, very easily. Now, the system here is saying, what does number 125 on the camera indicate? And here I have to type my answer, and I say, well, I know that that's the speed. Oh, yes, but the speed of what? The system's being a little bit pedantic with me now. Yep. So if I just go back to that and say it's the speed of the shutter. Yes, it indicates shutter speed. Okay, so it's looking for keywords and it's giving us supportive feedback. The time was ticking away there in the corner, as you notice on the little clock. What's the name of the part of the camera that directs and controls the light? And now we've got a multi-choice question. Is it A, press the key? Is it E? Or we can click on M, click on D, and if you watch the camera now, there's a little animation reinforcing the point and showing the light entering the camera. And that's animation, it's text, it's interactivity.
So it looks like a great way of being able to train people in a corporate environment. I guess no matter what the subject area, you could very easily customise an application to be able to teach them about different things about their company.
Exactly right. And when I show you the development tools, you'll see how easy it is to build applications like this. But a lot of companies are seeing the benefits now of interactive multimedia in training and learning applications. They're finding that they can deliver training of a consistently high quality at any time, at any place, as long as the equipment's available, obviously, at a fraction of the cost using other methods.
So what kind of cost savings would a company typically derive from this type of training?
One customer I've worked with some time ago, a year or so ago, implemented a multimedia strategy across the whole country. And they budgeted to spend £1 million putting a software and hardware solution in, and saved £1.5 million over 2 years and reduced travel and subsistence alone. It's cost justifiable, the use of this technology, and we're finding it's take-off, and it's really going to be very, very good.
Do you think that's widely understood, the benefits of that savings?
I think people understand it. A lot of people don't have the confidence, and it has been very difficult in the past. It's now becoming much easier with the developments and the technologies that we're talking about. Let's go back to this application, and I'll show you quite a nice little section just to finish it off, taking photographs. Here we have a simulation of a camera. To take a picture, it says adjust the camera and click. You press the shutter here. Notice the arrow turns into a little hand. You get the click of the camera, and there's your photograph. Well, what happens if you adjust the aperture? You click on the aperture, you take your picture. Click on the film advanced lever to wind the film on. It's not auto wind on.
And if I wanted to, could I actually go through this application and log the information so I know exactly what the user's doing and I can see the way they're interacting with the application?
Exactly. This program was developed with Authorware, which keeps a track of what the student's been doing, how long they took to get a question right, what they did, what they got right, what they got wrong, and so on. I've just adjusted the aperture there. It told me to wind the film on, so I wind the film on by clicking there. I then take another picture, and there's the result of that. Here's the whole screen again. Let's adjust the camera speed, the shutter, the film speed. I wind that lever there by just moving it with my mouse. This is moving an object and interacting, and I'm really doing something. I wind the film on, I take my picture, and there's the photograph a little bit overexposed. And that's simulation, if you like. So, back to the desktop, back to the presentation. That's learning, and that's a big area for interactive multimedia. The S of the Pearls acronym refers to simulation. And really here what we're talking about is the simulation of a computer system, maybe teaching somebody to use Windows. And you use Windows tutorial yourself in Windows 3.1, don't you? It teaches people how to use Windows.
I don't tend to use it quite so often these days.
You don't? OK, we've obviously gone beyond that stage. But we have people working with us who are new to Windows, and they simulate Windows, and they learn to use it in that way. You can simulate a piece of equipment in the way we just simulated that camera. You could simulate a hazardous environment or a hazardous process. So very, very powerful. And that's the S in Pearls.
So there's a very wide range of applications that you've shown me there. What about the delivery mechanisms? What technology considerations do I need to make in order to implement this?
Well, that's a good question, and that's the next section of the presentation, so that was quite a fortunate question. OK, delivery technology. I think this is one of the most interesting sections of the presentation. It certainly creates a lot of interest with our customers. What are the delivery technology considerations? Well, we've seen over the years a number of different standards for animations, for sound, for graphics, for video, and for text. And the support of this has been a nightmare, frankly, at a sort of lower level with the different DOS drivers and all the different driver software that's been required. And it's been very difficult to support. And I think it's really held the technology back because there hasn't been a standard. What we're really looking for is a standard interface that all these technologies can talk to, can plug together. And we really now have that, surprise, surprise, in Microsoft Windows 3.1. This really gives us the most important thing. It gives us a standard for desktop multimedia. Now, if we look just down here, you'll see all the different graphics file formats which Windows now supports. Yeah,
and we've really seen that since Windows 3.1 was introduced, because that is the operating system that provides connectivity to all types of different hardware and all types of different multimedia titles, that the multimedia industry has really spawned and grown very, very rapidly.
Because they've now got a standard, standard through Windows 3.1. Yes. So that's a software standard, if you like. If we now go back, I think the interesting thing here is that the software standard being defined by Microsoft Windows 3.1 is countered by and complemented by the fact that the hardware standard, if you like, is defined by a thing called the Multimedia PC.
Which Microsoft instrumentally much a part of.
Well, exactly. The Multimedia PC Marketing Council was actually established by Microsoft and the team of hardware vendors. Now, we see this logo on a number of different titles. We see it on compact discs. We see it on computers. Yeah. And here is a Multimedia PC computer. Now, if you see that MPC logo on a computer, it means that that computer has a 386SX chip. It's a 2 MB RAM machine, VGA graphics, sound card, CD-ROM drive, and a copy of Windows 3 multimedia on it.
Yeah. So if users are looking for a platform to run their multimedia applications, then they should really look out for this logo and either buy a multimedia PC already configured or buy an upgrade kit, which will take it up to that level of hardware functionality.
Exactly right. Now, if you look at the front of the PC I've got here, you'll actually see the Multimedia PC logo on the front of that machine. If you look on the title that we can buy for that machine, you'll actually see that the Multimedia PC logo is on there. You see the logo on the title, you see the logo on the machine. It's a bit like seeing VHS on a VHS tape and a VHS tape player. And you know that you can buy that tape and it will run on your machine. Yes. We now have multimedia plug and play in that way. Now, this is a multimedia PC. Imagine you've got a PC, which most companies have, and they haven't got multimedia PC functionality. What do? Do they throw them out? Well, no, they upgrade them by plugging in a sound card and plugging in a compact disc drive. And they've then got a multimedia PC. Now,
and that's the multimedia upgrade kit?
That's what we call a multimedia PC upgrade kit, yeah. Now, we market a multimedia PC upgrade kit, which consists of a Creative Labs Sound Blaster Pro card, a Panasonic CD-ROM drive, a copy of Windows 3.1, some speakers, some development software, Macromind Action, AuthorOS Star, evaluation copy of Multimedia Toolbar, all the products that people need to upgrade their machine and to experiment and build applications so they can see what this is all about and not just take our word for it. And we're finding that's going down very, very well. Yes. At £600, I mean, it's just incredible. Yeah. So that's the Multimedia PC. In the same way that Windows offers a software standard, the Multimedia PC offers a hardware standard, a hardware specification, and I think most importantly, a publishing opportunity. In the same way that organisations such as Microsoft now are publishing titles for the Multimedia PC, organisations can publish titles themselves. Now, a lot of people say, Nick, pressing compact discs is very difficult and it's expensive. Compact disc, you pay about £1,000 to press one and £1 for each one you then press after from there. We've just bought a machine ourselves for £4,000 from Philips that allows us to make our own compact discs. Now, we're offering this as a bureau service to our clients. Companies can buy these and press their own compact discs.
So if I wanted to, say, have 10,000 discs produced, could you master one and then get a number produced with that master?
Exactly. What you produce is you'd come to us with the data, we'd press a compact disc for you, or you'd press one using your own machine if you bought one from Philips, and you'd take the disc off and you'd get copies mastered off from that. So it's here. It's a bit like desktop publishing. What that did to the printing industry, this technology is now doing to the multimedia publishing industry. And that machine, we're tending to call that the Corston printing press of multimedia. It's going to revolutionise this industry, and the compact disc is the carrier mechanism. It's an essential part of it all.
Yeah, so a corporate, if they wanted to, if they had a specific training application, such as some of the things we've seen, they could use that also to store their titles that they've developed.
Exactly
and
right.
distribute them around their company.
We're speaking to some major companies now and talking at sort of board level and chairman level, and they're saying, hey, this is a new medium for communicating with our staff, for communicating with our employees and with our customers. Yeah. They're pressing compact discs, rather like the Asymmetrics one, with video in. You'll have the chairman's message on the disc. So it really is very exciting. So that's the multimedia PC, and it defines a standard for hardware. The hardware standard is the multimedia PC, and the software standard is Windows 3.1. We have a standard, multimedia is here, it means business, let's get on and use it. And if you like, that takes us on to the last section of the presentation, which is development tools. All very well talking to people about the technology, showing Wizzo applications and interactivity, but if people can't build their own applications, then it's of no real interest to them. They don't want to know, because a lot of companies just haven't got the budget to go out and commission companies to build applications for them. So what are the development considerations? How do you build applications? Well, as I say, in interactive development, we're marketing products that companies can use themselves in the three key application areas of presentations, reference, and learning. In the area of presentations, we're marketing a thing called Animation Works Interactive. For reference applications, we're marketing a product called Multimedia Toolbook. And for learning applications, we're marketing a product called Authorware Professional. And what I'd like to do is just give you an overview of these products, just from an overview point of view, and then actually drop into a demonstration and show you these products in use and show you how easily people can build these applications themselves. And you have products, Word and desktop publishing packages. Basically, Word is a very powerful publishing package, which people use to produce their own documents. They're taking ideas from their head to paper. These are products for taking ideas from your head to compact disc or to hard disk or to floppy disk, but for screen and not paper-based delivery. It's a new medium. Let's have a look first of all at Authorware Professional. This is a very interesting product. It's a product from a company in the States called Macromedia, who publish a very wide range of multimedia development tools, animation packages for the Macintosh and for the Windows 3 platform. The significant thing about Authorware is the fact it uses an icon and flowchart-based user interface. You don't have to do any programming. Now, this is a program that's developed primarily for people to use to develop interactive learning, computer-based training packages. Trainers are not programmers. They don't want to be writing computer programs. What they want to use are things that use nice, simple icons. And here we have an icon user interface. 3 icons here for putting in text and graphics, for adding pauses, for rubbing things from the screen. Icons for putting in sounds, for putting in video, for putting in animation. The interaction icon, I think, is the most important icon in Authorware because it allows you to build these interactions in. Typically, interactions are very difficult to build in. Because it's difficult, people don't build them in. Because they don't get built in, the application is very boring to use. You lose the instructional effectiveness, and people don't learn from them. They don't want to use them. Authorware allows us to build highly interactive applications. That's the icon side of it. The flowchart side of it means that Authorware automatically creates a flowchart linking these icons together so that we can visually see how the application pans through and how it works together. Because training applications are essentially linear, you're working towards the end. You don't need to jump all over the place as you would in a reference application. We have this flowchart and icon-based user interface, which is particularly appropriate. So that is the key feature of the product, and it makes it fast and easy to learn and use. And I'm a sales guy, if you like, so I'm bound to say that, and people don't believe it really until they see it. And when you see it, you'll believe how easy this product is to use. But I believe it's a designer's tool. It's a product for interactive designers to use.
So could I just take this product and just develop an application very easily? Would I need to have training to use it?
It's a very, very easy to use product. We're marketing it to trainers to use to build their own applications. What people are doing all over the world, people like American Airlines, people like Northern Telecom, people like British Telecom, Pilkingtons, Unilever, they're taking this product and they're building their own applications in-house. Gone are the days of the big budgets to produce interactive training packages. They're using this product themselves. It won an award at the Microsoft Multimedia Conference out in San Francisco earlier in the year for the best multimedia authoring software. PC Magazine Editor's Choice. It's used by some of the biggest companies in the world. And it's a fantastic product. I think when you see it, you'll be quite impressed. Okay, so that's Authware Professional. The other product which we're working with is Multimedia Toolbook, which is, again, it's a super product. It's one of the most established multimedia authoring products and is used by 20% of all multimedia title developers. Now, unlike Authware, which uses a flowchart and icon-based metaphor, Multimedia Toolbook uses a book-type metaphor, and different books have different icons, so that you can see on the Program Manager the functionality of a particular application. Books have pages. Pages have objects on them, which might be text, which might be graphics, which might be push button. If you click on the push button, you might hear some music. Okay? We have a number of pages in an application. We can link these pages. Now, if you think back to the Multimedia Beethoven application, we wanted to jump to the glossary and then jump to a particular part in the application, click a button, hear some music. It's not a flowchart-based metaphor. It's a hyperlinking metaphor. We need to be able to branch anywhere in the application. And that's where Toolbook offers us what we call hyperlinking. We can jump from page to page, backwards and forwards, almost at random, depending on how we want to interrogate this information. It doesn't suit a flowchart-type user interface, and that's where we have this thing called OpenScript in Multimedia Toolbook, which is a very powerful scripting language that allows us to build in this sort of functionality. Very, very powerful. And that might look rather complicated, but at the end of the day, there are a number of shortcuts to minimize the use of that.
So it's a bit like a programming language that I have to insert?
There is that side to it, but Asymmetrics, who produce Multimedia Toolbook, they've got a very large product range which shortcuts a lot of this. The control of multimedia elements, I'm going to show you a thing called Media Blitz in a minute, allows you to pull multimedia devices in, sound, animation, very easily. Cut and paste it into a book in the same way that in Word you might cut and paste a bit of text in or change the paragraph settings or highlight a word. You do that with Toolbook. So that programming is shortcutted. You rarely have to do any of that programming. You can set this branching up very easily. And as I say, in just a few minutes, I'll show you the product in use. So that's Multimedia Toolbook. Animation Works Interactive is a very interesting product, and that's an animation product and presentation tool for creating business presentations. Animation Works Interactive uses animation metaphors. So we have cells which we can animate across paths. And here's Bob, who's one of our elements. Bob moves across the screen. We can build in interactivity, so that if we click on a button, click on another button, Bob moves through. So you can produce interactive product demonstrations, interactive sales presentations with multimedia, pulling in sound and compact disc. And it's the presenter's tool, and it's a very, very powerful product. And that's a £300 product. And I think when you see it, you'll realise the potential and the power that this product really does give you. So those are the three main products that we're marketing.
So how do I know which is the right one for me?
Well, what we're doing is interactive developments, as I say, we're marketing these products to people, and we're not saying we only sell Toolbook, or we only sell Authware, or we only sell Animation Works Interactive, which is what a lot of companies are doing. They're saying this is all we sell and you're going to use it, whether you like it or not. We're saying, look, what do you want to do? What are your business applications? Are you into training applications? Are you into kiosk sales applications, sales presentation applications, or do you want to produce a multimedia encyclopedia? Here are what we feel are the best products in their class. Come to us, we'll discuss your problem, help you use them, and match the product to your requirements with a full range of support services. So you should now be able to start seeing how our company's mission and the objectives and the functions that we perform, how they fit into the products.
I think in a corporate environment, one key thing I'd want to understand is just how I could justify, how I could do all the calculations to show what business benefits some of these things would give me. How do you go about showing that?
Well, we've got a lot of experience helping companies actually use this technology and actually sitting down with them, putting case studies together, because obviously the number of people we've worked with, we've seen just about every combination. We have to maintain company confidentiality wherever possible, obviously, but it's a fairly straightforward task at the end of the day. So that's the agenda as we've been through it, Mark. We've talked about us as a company and what we're doing, marketing products that people can use themselves to build their own applications to meet their own business requirements and supporting the use of that and building applications for them in some cases. Interactive multimedia, what it is, media integration, if you like, and the interactivity and how important that is. The applications in sales presentations, multimedia reference applications, interactive training applications. The delivery technology that we now have a standard in Windows 3.1 that's taken just that one step further and complemented by the multimedia PC for plug and play. And MPCs will be under your television next year. They'll be black with silver feet. They will be out there in a big way. There's going to be no doubt about that. And we saw the development tools that we're marketing. So that's it in a nutshell, if you like. That's interactive developments and what we're doing. And in summary, to summarise the presentation, interactive developments, that's what we're doing, that's what multimedia is. What we're saying to people is, How can we help you? Well, what we're doing is saying, this is Windows Multimedia, this is what it's all about. What we're doing is marketing a multimedia PC upgrade kit, which people can use. They can take the products. The upgrade kit consists of Multimedia Toolbook, the demonstration version, Authware Star, a version of Authware Professional, and all the bits and pieces you need to upgrade a PC to get multimedia functionality from it, so that you can build your own applications to check out multimedia. Now what we're going to do is Mark and I are going to have a quick look at Windows Multimedia on the desktop, look at some sounds, some animations, pull things together, and show one of the latest technologies that Microsoft is bringing to the multimedia market. Mark, you've just launched Windows 3.1. Why don't you show us some of the features that's got that are hidden in there almost for multimedia functionality?
Okay, well let's start off and talk about some of the very most basic aspects of multimedia in Windows. Let's start off, let's go into the main group. I'll just minimize this down. And let's go into the control panel. One of the new capabilities in Windows 3.1 is that you can assign sounds to system activities. So, for example, when you're going in Windows or exiting Windows, or when you do something wrong, you can actually go and have a different sound associated with that.
Right, yeah. So when my machine booted up earlier and made some sounds, and when it makes an error message, that's that functionality.
Exactly,
yeah.
and that gives it, it makes it more intuitive. Let's make a few sounds. And you can record your own sounds and have them in there to assign to these different things you can see on the left-hand side. But one of the, this really is very a basic aspect of multimedia in Windows, and it's giving more personality to your personal computer. But what about some more advanced aspects? Let's now go into the media player. So let's go back to the Program Manager, and let's minimize these things down. And let's go into the Accessories group. Now, if we go into the media player in Windows enables us to play different media types. So you can see over here, if I click on devices, I have a number of different types. I can play animation files, CD audio, MIDI sequence, sounds, and there's also something there which is video, which we'll come back to in a minute.
So these are the MCI drivers that are actually loaded into this Windows system then, which allows me to play these multimedia events then, really, is it?
Exactly. So when I said before that you can, from Windows 3.1, you can attach all different software and hardware types, then this is the way that it's done. It's through this, this aspect of Windows.
And the fact that I've got a sound card in the machine and a CD, it sees that and it gives me those as options from this point. Yeah.
Exactly. So let's just play some files here. Let's go into the MIDI sequencer. We can play MIDI files. So these are music files that you could input using your Bon Tempi or your musical instruments.
And these are played back on the Sound Blaster card that's in the computer. It's got a MIDI synthesizer built on it, essentially, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes, that's right. So if we now just hit the play button.
Bit of a long intro on this one, isn't it?
Yeah, we could actually minimise this down if you wanted to, and we could do a bit of multitasking, and we could carry on doing something else. Now, and if we
a media player comes with Windows 3.1, doesn't it? So
yes,
that's there in every version of Windows.
That's right. Now let's just pause that for a second. Let's go back into the media player. Let's just stop it there.
Okay.
Now you can see that there's lots of different device types that we've looked at, that we've introduced over here. Now, how about let's go and have a look at one product that's I think is going to have a huge impact in the multimedia arena, and that is Video for Windows, which is a video product that will enable you to play full motion video directly off your hard disk drive with no additional hardware.
Or compact disc, obviously, I'm using MPC.
So or compact disc as well.
So this is the sort of technology we saw in that Asymmetrics leadership demonstration then, is it?
Yes.
When we were seeing interviews with the chairman, chief executive, or whatever of Asymmetrics.
And what I'll do, I'll show you a few files. Let's go into our CD. We'll play them directly off the compact disc we've got on our machine. So here
that's the D drive, is it, the compact disc? Yes, there's nothing special about that.
No, it's just... and let's go in and have a look at a couple of files. So let's go into this leisure directory. And let's go and have a look at, I'm quite keen on this jet skiing one over here. I'm a bit of a jet ski buff. So let's say OK. And again, you can see the whole process is the same. It loads it in a very similar way that we had before. And if I just hit the play, you can see this file now playing.
And that's playing off the compact disc on a multimedia PC.
That's playing off the compact disc on a multimedia PC. I could be having it played directly off my hard disk drive with no additional hardware at all. So any standard, that you were talking about a notebook computer before, this is the way that you could actually play video through your notebook or through any type of PC, provided it meets that minimum specification, which is the same as the MPC specification.
And you've got a lot of other ones on here, I see then.
There's quite a lot of other ones. Let's have a look at another one here. It's, this is quite an amusing one.
So did I.
There's not many places in the world where you could do that.
That's fast, isn't it? And that's in software, so you could run this on a notebook computer straight on a colour screen.
That's right, and you could play it with different sizes, so you could actually go through and play that with a much bigger size if you wish to. You could have it full screen if you wanted to. One of the other great things is that you could also take this video file and you could insert it into a document. You could put it in a spreadsheet or a word processing document like Word, Microsoft Word, or you could actually take it and put it in a mail message if you wanted to. So in the same way that you can embed sounds in documents and applications, you can also do that with video.
That's really very exciting, isn't it? It's an amazing opportunity. So you can capture a bit of video. You're a product manager, you want to shoot some video of your product, you want to put it in a document and show your boss. Well, I've actually got a camcorder here, Mark. Why don't we try shooting a little bit of video? I'll close the media player down just quickly, and I'll show the AVI editing tools that are coming out.
So this is part of the video for Windows, and essentially, as well as being able to play back video, you can also capture your own video.
Exactly right. Okay, so here we are in Video Capture, which is a video capture utility. First thing I need to do is just tell it what sort of colours we want to work with, and that window becomes a colour image. We then go to Capture and say Capture Video, and we say, well, 15 frames a second, click on OK, and this is where you've got to do some work, Mark.
Well,
hang on, haven't started yet,
just
a second. OK, when you're ready, 1, 2, 3, speak to me.
Video for Windows is going to take multimedia a step further by providing it for the mainstream user. It's amazing. It really blows the socks off.
There's somebody behind you, did you realise that?
No, I didn't actually.
Looks like it worked. Right, so let's give it a go. OK, so we now say Edit Captured Video, read AVI Index, and we'll just close this down. Fingers crossed, let's see how it looks. Speak to me.
Video for Windows
off the hard disk of the computer.
A step further by providing.
Who's that funny man behind you? Does he work here, do you think? There's somebody behind you.
I wonder, I thought there was somebody there.
Now, if we think about that, that was captured using a Targa card, which we've got in the back of our PC, for capturing video in real time to the hard disk. It's just so easy. Now, there's another card from Creative Labs called the Video Blaster card. That card is £320. It's supported by AVI and allows you to do that. I think you've got to magnify one of the Screen Machine cards, haven't you?
I've got quite a few.
You've got coming out of your ears, have you? I'm sure everybody's sending their cards to you. But the important thing is that because it's Windows, all these cards are now supported. The Video Logic DVA 4000 card, Screen Machine card, they're all supported.
Just going back to that scenario we talked about a little bit earlier, where you had a situation where you're presenting something to a customer, you could very easily capture testimonials from different existing clients that you had and just include it in a spreadsheet or a document, and that way the person could get access to a testimonial very easily.
You've just seen how easy it is. Well, that's software-only digital video, Mark, from AVI, and basically what we're able to do there is, as you know, run video in a small window on a screen at about 15 frames a second, which I think you'll probably agree is good enough, isn't it? We've been waiting a long time for this.
For portable computing, it's going to be amazing.
Super, and as you say, the testimonial ideas. Now, as I say, that's what we call software-only digital video. Let's close this down, and let me show you some DVI, hardware-assisted digital video. And here we have the DVI system. So what I'll do is I'll open a DVI file on the hard disk.
So who makes this system?
This is a system that's been produced by Intel, and they've brought it to market. It's being distributed in the UK by Multitech, who are distributing DVI solutions to companies.
And this all works through Windows, through the media players we saw before?
Because MCI drivers are available for DVI, it's now easy to integrate it into an application. You watch when I click the play button. We now have a much higher quality video signal, and I can size that window, and I can blow it up to full screen. That's full screen, full motion, digital video from the hard disk. That's brilliant. Now, if you think that, I think the major application for this sort of quality video is going to be kiosk applications. We're back in the system now. I think we're out there.
This beats the real thing.
Sit still. Whoops, nearly over the edge. I think full motion video like that, you're talking about putting a card in your system. You might be paying £1,000 for that card. They're coming down in price, £700–800 coming out soon. But it's still an add-on. I think AVI is putting video on everybody's desktop, and digital video with DVI is an add-on. But how do the two fit together? I mean, did you know?
Well, I would say that I think with Video for Windows, which is the AVI format, the key thing there is that it's very simple, very easy to be able to create AVI movies, and it's very easy to be able to play them back because there are no additional hardware requirements. I think with DVI, really, that's a much more specialist application, and you can use that, for example, with kiosk type of utilities where maybe you're playing back the same thing all the time and you're trying to play it back with a certain quality level.
But ultimately the two will be linked together anyway, won't they? And you'll be able to play back AVI movies using a DVI system.
Certainly,
and whatever.
And if you're actually playing an AVI movie back on a system that has a DVI board, it'll use that and give you a full 30 frames a second. So you get the DVI frame rate.
Okay, well, that's the video side of things, and I think it's very exciting. What I'd like to do now is go back to my multimedia presentation sequence and show you another product. This is a product that was launched by Asymmetrics recently, a little thing called Toolbook. It was created in Toolbook and is an add-on to Toolbook. It's a thing called Media Blitz, and this is the ScoreMaker utility. Now here we have a timeline along the screen, and let's just say we want to load some MIDI audio in. We'd click the MIDI button here, and we load some sound in. And you'll see that that sound is now positioned in the score. So we click on play, and we have some nice music there, some nice easy listening tunes to relax to. Well, let's maybe load an animation in. We click the animation button, we load an animation in, and we want to position that animation over on the side of the screen here. Okay. Now let's say we want that animation to start after 3 seconds. We pick it up and play it, and we want a sound to play at the beginning. So we click on the sound icon, and we want the sound of a car starting up. And as I say, you can record these sounds yourself, and we'll show in a minute how easy it is to load sounds in. We'll load another sound in and position it over there. You can buy compact discs full of these sounds. Now, let's see what happens when we click play now. Hear the sound, the car starts up, animation plays. Super, isn't it? That package is £85. It's incredible.
So what you've really shown me here is a mixing device, a mixing application to be able to mix different multimedia types together and make your own title.
It's an application that allows you to build what we call multimedia events together. Now, I'd now like to actually go in and show you 1 or 2 more different products, some of the other products we're working with. I'm going to show you Authorware Professional. I'm going to build an interactive training package for you and show you how easy it is to use this product. And we'll record some sound and take some pictures. I'll then show you Multimedia Toolbook and give you a feel for how that works, and you'll see the difference. And then we'll finish off with Animation Works Interactive.
Yes.
Okay, let's have a look at some products. Right, the first thing, Authorware Professional. Now, as I say, Authorware allows us to create lessons without actually doing any programming. Now, you'll see down the left-hand side of the screen here, starting from the top, the icons which we use to build an application. Okay? Let's go back to the start here and build a little sequence. I just want to put a sequence of icons together. To put a box of text up that says hello and welcome to Authorware, I need the text and graphics icon. I then want to wait for 2 seconds, so I use the wait icon. I then want to rub it out, and so I use the erase icon. And I'd better label these icons, so I'll call this icon intro. I'll call this 2 seconds, because I want a 2-second pause, and I'll call this icon erase intro. We've built the structure, we've labelled it. We can look at that and see at a glance how the program's going to run. Now, I don't know if you're a computer programmer, but you should be able to look at that and get a feel for what's going on. It's fairly straightforward. How do we add content to an icon? Well, we double-click on it, and up come the options for that icon. Wait for a mouse click or a key press. Do you want a prompt? No. What I want is a 2-second pause, so we click there. That icon is now set up. I could double-click on this icon as well, and this icon. Or, if I go to the Run menu from Try It, it runs the program, and here we are. It's stopped me in a program, an icon which I haven't yet set up, a display icon called Intro. Well, let's draw a box down at the bottom of the screen, and let's draw a box here with a fill. So we'll fill that box in. I go to my Edit menu, and I choose Fills. What fill do we want? We want a solid fill. What colour do we want? We go to the Colour menu, and we choose Colour. And we choose any one of our colours, and I'd better go for Corporate Purple, or the Managing Director will be after me if I don't represent us in a true light. Put some text in there. Now, I want some text. I want this to say, welcome to Authorware. Okay? Now, I want to change that text slightly, so I select it. Now, this is another, we talked about the integration of text. We can now go up here to fonts, and we've got all the Windows fonts. We can add fonts, as you know. Absolutely super. Let's choose.
Get those great TrueType fonts.
That's great, that's right. And this is one of the benefits of developing interactive learning applications under Windows. We can change the size, make it size 48. Well, it's obviously a little bit too big. So let's pop that back down here and make it size 36. Position the text in the box. And there we are. It's just like desktop publishing. But with desktop publishing, we can't choose an effect for that text to appear with. So we go to the Effects menu, and we say, well, do you want it to appear with a mosaic effect? Do you want it to appear by building to right? Do you want it to appear using a Venetian blind? And it's that easy with Authorware. Now, we've finished that icon, so we click to close the icon down, and we carry on running the program. So now we have a 2-second pause, and then we come to another icon. Now, Authorware hasn't said, sorry, but you didn't put the program in the right position. We're going to abort out, go and have a read of the manuals and come back tomorrow. It makes you do it right first time. It says, this is an icon called Erase Intro. Click on the display you want to erase. So I click on that display, and I choose an effect I want it to erase with, so that we've now created an application. So that now when I select Run, it runs automatically. The box comes up, it stays on the screen for 2 seconds and then erases. Let's say you want that box to move up the screen. I use my move icon and I put it in there and I call it move intro. So that now when we run the program, it's going to throw me out at that icon. And here we are, it's bombed me out at an icon called move intro. And it says drag the display to the destination. Well, what I need to do then is pick the object up, move it up the screen, choose the time for that to happen, 2 seconds, so that now when we click OK and run the program, up it comes, it moves up the screen, 2-second pause, and then it erases. Now that's the easy bit. Remember back in the presentation earlier, I said it's the interactivity that's very important. Well, let's build an interactivity in. I'll group those icons together into an icon called intro sequence. Oops, can't even spell sequence now. Pressure. Okay, at level 1 that's all we see, but if we double click on it, within it, at level 2, all the icons are contained, so it's nice and tidy. Let's build an interaction very quickly. Let's put the picture of the camera we saw earlier. Let's ask the user a question. Let's say click on the shutter of the camera. If the user clicks on the shutter, let's hear a sound of a camera. And what sort of interaction is it? Well, here are all the lists of interaction styles. Free text, click, touch. Okay, that's what we want. And we've got that sound. If the user clicks on the lever, let's put some text in. If they miss, let's put some sound in of me saying, no, try again. Okay, so that's built the structure. Let's label it quickly. Camera, press, shutter, shutter, lever, and missed. Okay. Now I want to run this to set it up. So to run it, what I need to do is take my start flag and position it just at the top of the screen, just there. So that now, I don't have to run this bit. I know that works. I can just run from flag. And what's happening, it's throwing me out at an icon called camera. So I need to import a graphic. And I should have a picture of a camera, which I could have taken from the CorelDRAW CD full of graphics. CorelDRAW now comes with 15,000 images on a CD. Another reason for having a compact disc drive, maybe. Let's choose an effect, make that fade in with a mosaic. Okay, so let's put the camera into that icon. We now add some interactivity. I want to ask the user a question. I want to say to them, press the shutter, okay? We now have 3 boxes over here that you can see, labelled lever, mist, and shutter. Well, we take the hotspot called shutter, and we position it, we size it slightly, and we position it over there. We take lever, we make it just a little bit bigger, and we position it just over the lever.
So is this the main area where you see this type of application fitting with tutorials?
It's interactivity. I mean, you won't build interactivity like this into a multimedia application as easily with any other package. And I size that for the whole screen. You see, we just allocated hotspots. I mean, yeah. It's object-oriented development.
So could you use it for a help system?
Most certainly, most certainly. Now let's set this up then. We click on that icon. It wants me to put some text in, so we'll say, no, that's the lever. We'll put an arrow between that bit of text and the lever. We'll change the line thickness of that arrow and put an arrow on the end. Great. We'll change the effect for that box so that we use build down, so that now when we come back and we close that icon, you'll see that the arrow moves down. What happens if we click on the shutter? Well, it goes to an icon called shutter and it wants a sound. And if we go down into here, we've got a click sound effect. So now when we play, we've got the sound in there. And if you like in Blue Peter style, that's one we did earlier. What happens if we click here? It wants some sound. Well, this is where Windows really comes in, because if we jump out to the Program Manager again, we have this little applet here called Sound Recorder, which obviously you'll recognise because it comes with Windows 3.1.
Yeah,
people get this.
In the accessories group.
Exactly. Now, because I've got a sound card in the system, I've got a microphone here, which I can now talk into. So I load Sound Recorder, and I click on Record, and I now load Record. Welcome to Authorware. Welcome to Authorware. Okay, well, let's load a new one. Let's actually just say, no, try again, because we're going to use this sound when the user's missed. So we'll say, no, try again. No, try again. Bit of echo maybe. We go to effects, we add some echo, No, try again. Okay, so it makes it sound like we're down on the shop floor. When I save that file as nickmiss1.wave.
You've got 11 there.
Have I called it 11, have I? Thank you. Nickmiss 1. And I decide where I want to save it. And I'm going to pop it down and save it in my authorware folder. And that's just a file. I can now jump back to authorware and click here, and there's Nickmiss 1. Loads that sound in so that now we hear it in the application.
No, try again.
So that if I click here, that's the lever. If I click here, and if I click here,
no, try again.
and that's authorware. That's how easy it is to build an interactive application. We can take all these icons now, and well, we better make that. We better let the user out. We'll put a time limit in there maybe, and make that a time limit, so that, as you saw, remember you saw the little clock earlier on. If you now double-click on there, we can make that a 15-second time limit, show the time remaining, and put a bit of music in at the beginning, so play some CD, turn the CD off, so that now when we run this application, okay, we run it, and we get the application running with a bit of compact disc audio in there in the background as well, animates up the screen, fades away after 2 seconds, and we come to the camera. Click here.
No, try again.
Click here, or click here.
Multitasking sounds.
Yeah, that's right. But that's the Sound Blaster Pro card. In the computer, mixing the audio together, the CD audio, and mixing together all the different features. You notice the little clock was ticking away in the bottom left-hand corner down here. That was ticking the 15 seconds away. Fantastic application. Yeah. So let's quit out of here.
So what would it mainly be used for, other than this type of thing that you've created here?
Authorware is really a product for trainers to produce their own interactive training packages. And you saw the ease with which you can actually do that there. Trainers are not computer programmers. They want to take their training experience and produce interactive training packages. They don't want to be writing computer programs. They want to have a high level of interactivity, because training is all about learning and interacting and learning by doing, as we saw earlier. Yeah. That's where authorware is very, very powerful.
And are there quite a lot of companies that have implemented this today?
Authorware is the standard for interactive learning multimedia applications. Now let's take you on to another product, a thing called Multimedia Toolbook. This is a product from Asymmetrics in the US. Fantastic product for creating multimedia reference applications and multimedia titles. What I'm going to do is open a blank lesson, which I've got saved down here, which is literally just a blank application. And I think I called it something original like test. There we go. Okay, this is a blank page on the toolbook page. It's just a blank page. What I'm going to do is customize the background so that every screen has a button in the bottom right-hand corner, like that, called button, okay? I want to change the attributes of that button, so I go to Object, and I change the button attributes, and I say, well, this button will have the word back written on it, and we have to put a small script in there to say, to handle button up, oops, to handle button up, go to previous page. So it's fairly straightforward syntax, and then we say end button up, okay?
You spelled it well.
Okay. There's automatic spell checking provided by Mark Edwards. Thanks very much. Okay, so we close that, and that's just a simple bit of printing. Okay, we did have a syntax error in there as well.
Yeah, you got
button up. Okay, we'll call it button up. But you notice that the system picked it up. It wouldn't let me go any further, so it's quite friendly. Okay, so we're happy with that script. That button's now created. Now, one of the main advantages, and obviously I don't need to tell you this, of Windows, is the fact that when you learn to cut and copy and paste in any application, it's the same command set. Let's copy that button, so that now when we paste it back in, you'll see it popped in at the bottom. We've now cut and pasted and copied that button, so that I can now change its properties, so that it says next, change the script, and you see, okay, I did a bit of programming. I only did it once. We changed the word previous to next, so that now when I close that, save changes, yes. We've now got 2 buttons. One will take us through the book, and one will take us back. Okay, let's say that each page needs to have one of these items on it, and we'll put one of these on here, which is a text box. And we draw the text box on the page. We change its attributes, so we'll now make it a record field which has got a scroll bar on it. That's fine. Okay, every page in the book will look like that. So it's a content-rich application. So now we go into Reader. This is page 1, and we'll type some text in here that says, this is page 1 of our toolbook book, and you should notice that the text is scrolled. And we can come down here, and we'll type some gobbledygook text in here. It's my 300 words a minute typing skill coming out. And you notice we're using the scroll bar now. So that's great. Okay. Let's go to the next page. Well, it can't because there isn't one. So let's say new page and add a couple of new pages so that we can now scroll through them. So we're now at page 1. We'll call this page 2. So you see how easily we can build a multimedia reference application. We go to the next and we say page 3. Now you mentioned MCI earlier and the fact that we have this control now through the media control interface. Very powerful, but nobody really wants to sit down and start programming MCI. Well, Toolbook has a function now called multimedia widgets. This application here, which takes all that work away for you. What we have here, what we call pre-scripted buttons, which we can use within Toolbook. So say you want to load some wave audio in, you click on that, and it's a play option you want, and what sound do you want to play? Well, let's go and find that sound. We've got some sounds actually down here. In Media Blitz, I know we've got a few sounds, and in Clips, we'll load one of these sounds. We'll load maybe the sound of a bike. Okay. I want to... So there's my bike. That was a pretty exciting sound, wasn't it? Okay. We now want to copy that button and take it out from there and jump back to Toolbook and paste that button in. So I go back to author mode and I go to paste and you'll see that button appears on the screen. We can now position it there. We can now change its properties and call it motorbike. So this would be the sound of the picture or whatever it is actually on the page with it. So that now when we are in run mode, we click, and we hear the sound running. So that's how easy it is to paste sounds.
Must be a 50cc.
That doesn't sound very powerful, does it? It's not the sort of bike you'd be seen dead on, is it, Mark? Okay. Why don't we try pulling that, that commands that you saw earlier? Do you remember we've created that AVI movie? Well, let's call that in. Let's go back to the top menu here, go to animation, and choose an animation. And over in AVI, we've got an AVI movie. So I choose to display AVI movies. There's test.avi.
Speak to me.
Video for Windows is
That's running now within Toolbook. That's the beauty of the Windows multimedia environment, and that's funny man's area.
It's amazing. It really blows the
There's somebody behind you. Did you realise that?
We can now copy that button, copy that function, quit from here, go back to Toolbook so that on my page 3, so page 1, we paste that function in. So we now come into our author mode, and there it is. So when we look at the whole screen, we can see that we've now got a button there called Pop-Up. We click on Button Field Properties. We say Video. We say OK. That button's now called Video. And actually, while I'm there, let me just show you what Multimedia Toolbook saved us doing. It's saved us writing all this command. All this MCI code has been written for us automatically. So that now when we run this application, we go to 3. We go back, we hear the sound of the motorbike. When we go forward, we go to page 1. We go to page 1, wherever it is, and we've lost you. Where are you? It's forward, isn't it? Okay, click on video, and that AVI movie gets pasted in. We now need to just go into the script there and reposition that text. It's very, very simple. And I think it's a fantastic package. Remember Media Blitz when I showed you the sequence we produced earlier? Let's put one of those sequences in. Let's go to 3. Let's say that on this page, we've got nothing on it at the moment. Let's go to Media Blitz. Whoops. Let's put a button on here and run a little multimedia sequence button. We select it. We use media links to run a score that we create in Media Blitz. And here's a score, and I think there's one down there called NIX, and that's one of mine, little acronyms. Click on OK. So that now when we run this page, click there, and it will run one of those sequences for us that we just created. Fantastic. A lot of it, the integration of a lot of products, and I think that's really the key to, certainly as I say, the Windows environments and all these different products working together. The last thing I'd like to show you is Animation Works Interactive, because I really want to round this off by showing you multimedia presentations. So this is Animation Works Interactive, a product from Gold Disc. Okay, this product uses animations as what we call cells. So if I load an animation in, there's Bob there, we'll load him in, and you'll see Bob now up in the top right-hand corner of the screen. And there he is. Well, he's created in what we call a cell editor, which is here. So Bob, as an animation, is created in this part of the package, and we can edit him Let's turn it off. We can edit these different frames and create this animation.
So is it quite easy to edit the different frames?
It is very straightforward, and obviously no package is going to make an artist of you, but when you've got these media elements available to you as clip art, you can cut and paste them in and produce presentations very quickly that people are going to look at, product demonstrations. Let's animate Bob across the screen using the straight line tool. So let's take him from there and animate him across the screen and make him walk off the edge of the screen. And let's make him do that over 50 frames. So I type in 50, and we'll make him decelerate over the last 10 and accelerate over the first 5. Okay, so now when we actually play this little sequence, click play, Bob walks across the screen. Super. Not bad, is it? Walt Disney, here we go. Well, let's now say that when Bob gets to a particular place, after maybe frame 10, we put some text in, and we'll say Windows Multimedia. Again, we want to change the attributes, so we'll go to text, choose attributes, and we'll say we want that in a sans serif font. Again, we've got access through another package to all the fonts available in Windows. We can select it and we can change its colour. So we change attributes again, we go to colour, and I pick a colour almost at random, that looks fine. Click OK, and we now save that text as a script member.
So would you use this exclusively for developing presentations?
Presentations, animation sequences for creating kiosk demonstrations. So you had a product, you just wanted to produce a demonstration of it as an exhibition, then this is a super product to use. Let's take that text and animate it across a curved path. Let's make it coming off the top of the screen and move down. So it moves from there, it moves down the screen. Okay, a bit of a wobbly path. And let's make that a 30-frame animation, make it speed up over the first 5, and say OK. Let's say that when that bit of text hits Bob on the head, we load a sound in. We go to Event, we go to Sound, we load Wave Sound. And, whoops, we do it again, missed. Okay, and we want to open a sound, and we could have an explosion sound that goes off when Bob is hit with the bit of text, and maybe play some CD.
So if I wanted to generate an application using this, are there lots of different animations that you can get hold of?
There are a number of applications that come with the package, and more are going to become available. I think a whole industry is going to set up now with, clip media, creating animations. A number of companies now market clip media elements. Now I'm going to load some CD audio in. So I say define, I want to load, let's play from track 5 to track 6. And this is how easy it is to control a CD-ROM device now, a CD audio. And as I say, this is all part of MCI Core. We load that sound in so that now when we click play, this is the presentation we've just created. That's how easy it is. And that's Animation Works Interactive, and that package is £335. Quite incredible.
I can see a lot of people having a lot of fun generating applications with it.
Well, that's right.
So you've shown me many applications here and how they can be applied to different business environments and the benefits that can be had in things like training and education, point of sale, and also presentations, how you can add more impact to your presentations.
Well, that's right. It's a very exciting opportunity, I think, for us all, companies like your own, mine, companies out there who really can use this technology now, and we have a standard for multimedia, and I think that really is the most important thing. Thanks very much for coming along. What do you make of it all?
I think it's great. I think now multimedia is mainstream in Windows. It's in the product, in the operating system. But I think a lot of companies are wondering, well, what can they do with it? What business benefits can they derive with multimedia in Windows? And I think companies like yourselves can take that a step further and work with those companies to show them that in things like training, exactly what benefits they can derive and help them understand those real cost benefits they're going to get.
Well, we're very busy, as I say, doing that, and we're doing this presentation on a fairly regular basis, which is why we made the video, and we're grateful for your help. What we're saying to people is we're marketing the upgrade kit that you can use to upgrade your computers to multimedia functionality, to exploit the potential that Windows 3.1 now offers from system sounds, as we saw, or running multimedia PC titles, or using the products that we're packaging with that kit to develop your own multimedia applications. It is a very exciting opportunity, and we hope we'll be able to work with some of these companies.
So what's the next step? If I'm a corporate and I'm interested in taking this a step further, I've seen the information and I'm interested in applying it in some way to my business environment, what do I do next?
Well, it's almost a case of stop us and buy one, quite simply. A multimedia PC upgrade kit is literally just £600, and it's everything you need to get into the world of Windows multimedia computing. Very exciting opportunity it presents.